America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Teresa, please take the roll.
Okay, Mayor Jones.
Here.
Horn.
Here.
Hill.
Here.
Bowen.
Yep.
Behrens. Here. Jazz.
Yes.
And Mattson is absent with notice.
All right. Oh, and there's Stacy. Man, we're gonna get double barreled tonight.
You're in for it now.
Any additions or actions on the agenda for tonight's meeting?
Motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote. Bowen.
Yep.
Horn.
Yes.
Keel.
Yes.
Behrens.
Yes.
Jazz.
Yes.
All right, how about action on the minutes from the 12-3 meeting?
Motion to approve minutes from December 3rd meeting.
Second.
Any discussion? If not, we'll vote. Jazz.
Yes.
Behrens.
Yes.
Keel.
Yes.
Horn.
Yes.
Bowen.
Yes.
All right. Action on the bills as presented for payment.
Just out of curiosity on these bids for, and maybe we've already talked about this, but like the plumbing and the heating and all that, do we solicit other bids for those?
Yep,
Okay,
yep, we advertise and do everything according to state bid laws.
okay, perfect.
Make a motion to approve the bills as presented.
Second.
Any other discussion? I have one. Is it typical that we pay the slurry seal this late, or is this when they?
They were late getting us the bill.
Okay.
Yeah, we
I was
actually,
curious by that,
Teresa actually contacted them to get it,
Okay.
because we're like.
because when I seen that, I thought, what the heck?
Carol was going through a list of things we haven't
'Cause
got
we
billed for.
Typically pay that probably in September, maybe?
October.
Yeah.
Something like that, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this was late.
Was there a Black Friday sale on filters?
It must have been, I seen that too. They've been told that we're not a parts house.
Oh, kidding. Napa is right up the street.
They're saving mileage. All right, anything else? I see you bought a new tank at CNR.
Yep, we'll be putting that on the water truck, taking the old steel one off and putting that on this winter.
Because my old guys call on them, I hope it's an Ace Rotomold.
Motion to approve the bills presented.
We already did that, I think.
Oh, yeah, so-
We already got, any other
We got
discussion?
to. Let's move on.
All right, let's vote. Bowen.
Yes.
Horn.
Yes.
Keel.
Yes.
Behrens.
Yeah.
Jazz.
Yes.
All right. Public comments, that's not you, you're under visitor. Stacy, do you want to be public comment, or are you going to be with him? Okay, you're here to support. Man, I like that. All right, we'll move down to visitors. Tim Graham is here to discuss pet licenses. Shoot.
Okay. Well, 2 meetings ago, we got Kyle's report, and I think everybody got a
I
copy
put it on
of
their
it.
desk.
Yep.
And we spent most of the meeting talking about pet licenses. Then our next meeting comes around, and the minutes from our meeting prior says we discussed pet licenses. And I said, really? We spent most of our meeting, probably a half hour to 45 minutes talking about pet licenses, and that's all it ends up in meeting notes? And so I was anointed, and I'm glad Stacy came with me tonight, to talk to you, asking you if you would possibly consider rescinding the entire pet license issue. If you look at this report from Kyle,
Yep.
there are 8 pet licenses issues on this list for October. Only 1 has been closed. There were 22 letters sent out, $650 worth of fines issued. And our discussion revolved around the issue, well, you're sending letters to people that have already complied with this ordinance. They did register their pets, or you wouldn't know who they were, right? And that was right. What about people that don't register their pets? How do we find them? Good question. So this is an unenforceable ordinance. No way to enforce it unless you go house to house, look for pets, ask if they've been licensed. The only people that are getting punished and fined are those that did comply with the ordinance, and they did register their pet at one time. Many of these people, their pets died, they don't have them anymore, they come out to the farm, give them to the kids, and they're getting letters, 22 letters sent out. It's unenforceable. We find it ridiculous that we even talk about these things in our meeting. Stacy, anything to add?
Well, just trying to figure out what the original purpose of having a pet license was in the first place, and as Tim said, it was really, how do we go out? I think we used to have an association with the local veterinarian.
Yep.
But that has broke down for whatever reason, and really, how do we identify people that have pets? I do have a pet on my own, and I do license it, but she will probably pass away one of these days because she's 13 years old. And, you know, if I forget to turn it in, then I'm going to get a tag for not. And we were simply trying to comply with the pet license law. And it just, like Tim said, it seems that we're punishing people that were good enough to at least register their pets in the first place. And what, in purpose, right? I really don't know what the purpose of a pet license is.
We also talk in great length about the dog park. Has anybody been down to check dogs as they come into the park? No. Well, it's been there for over a year, why not? How do you even know that these dogs coming in have been licensed? What a perfect topic, well, but it hasn't been done. So, we as a committee, or I'm speaking for myself, we find it unenforceable and something that should be totally rescinded.
Also, is it a good use of Kyle's time to be able to enforce this ordinance?
I will say, yeah, a lot of them are people that have already registered their pets. Now that we have Jenny on board, you know, she can send those reminder letters to people because before it was always, well, I don't remember when to register my pet or whatever, and we've gotten more compliance with that. A lot of those that do get lettered, those are ones that we've had issues with that have never had them registered before. So say the Humane Society has picked them up and we've identified who they are. It's those say, hey, we've had an incident with your dog, there's been a bite or whatever it may be, or running at large, you need to come in and register. So anytime we get a complaint or we get aware of an issue with an animal, we'll look them up right away, and if they're not licensed, those will send letters to saying, we have an ordinance for pets, you have to, you know, per ordinance, you have to register your license because we know you have a pet. Humane Society every month gives us a list of you know, who they picked up, you know, who's come and claims their animal, so we can follow up on our end to make sure they're registered and licensed. So it isn't just ones that have not registered their pets.
Is there anything in our agreement with Humane Society that we have to have that ordinance on the books?
Nothing in our agreement with Humane Society have it on.
Okay.
So what are the letters being sent then, I guess? That
People haven't renewed.
They haven't
Okay, they
renewed.
haven't
And
And
they
the only
do
ones we
get-
know that haven't renewed are people that have renewed in the first place.
That have originally, yeah.
Right.
Okay. That
And we send them
originally-
reminder letters, and we send them 2 reminder letters.
So
Okay.
Tim and Stacy's point is, we're sending letters and reminders to people that have complied with the law. What are we doing about the other 5,000 dogs that aren't licensed?
Right, and then we talked
Or
about, like you said, short
that's
of
maybe
going
not the
door to
number,
door,
Probably.
you know, we're trusting people to be honest, but
Right.
short of
And one of our
going door.
members on our committee happens to be in everybody's backyard and on their front yard, and you see and talking to homeowners, there's a large number of pet owners that are not registered.
Oh, yeah.
And you gotta realize that.
Yeah, I
Very
think,
large.
Oh, we
So
know
what's the
there's-
point, I mean, yeah, I think the question, I mean, kind of like, I look at this, like, this to me is like, kind of an obvious decision, that's just my opinion, but what's the, like, so, let's say your dog dies. Why is it the city's, you know, I think the question I ask myself is, why the hell is it the city's business that you let us know that your dog died? Oh, so now we don't have to send you a bill, I mean, what's the function of it? Is it just so we know how many dogs people
We
have?
have never
I mean-
find anybody that their dog has died. If they, as soon as they let us know, you know, we'll send them a letter, oh, I got this letter, my dog's died, okay.
Yeah, but what's, yeah, so
We're
what's
done.
the
We take 'em
function
off
of
the
having a
books.
pet license?
If a dog that's licensed gets picked up, for example, you know
Right.
whose it is, and then there are costs that are incurred to whatever.
So if we know whose it is, if it gets picked up and brought down to City Hall, and we've had that in the past, it goes, we have a cage out here, we will look up their license, we will call that homeowner, and they will come pick it up. And there's no cost to us, calling the Humane Society and having them come out, and there's no cost to them. So that is one advantage for have the license, and for people to do it.
An unlicensed pet would incur fees, which would be passed on to the owner eventually, right?
The unlicensed pet, yes, exactly, you need to get it licensed, and you'd probably get, because if it was running at large, a running at large
Well,
fine
and
with it.
that's what most of this is, though, is no pet license. And there's fines with each one, correct?
Some are,
There
some
was,
aren't.
yeah, there was one on there for, when I first looked at it, I misinterpreted it, but it was $150 fine. And I thought that was because he had received 3 letters, but he had 3 dogs, so he had a
Right.
$150 fine.
And the
So
fine's
you-
$50
I think that there's only
per
one.
offense.
I think there's only one on this list that did not have a fine.
But we're not fining someone for not renewing. It's their dogs are on the loose, and we picked them up and
Yeah.
returned them, whatever is happening. So the way I look at that too, though, is that pet license.
Yeah, not getting them licensed though, if they ignore their, Jenny sends them 2 letters, and Kyle also sends them a letter with so they get 3 letters. If they don't, they're out of compliance with ordinance, so they will after the 3rd letter.
But those were for pets that were licensed before,
Correct.
Mhm.
not the ones running at large.
And
I
of course,
mean-
we talked about, okay, so the dog park, you have family, my family, I mean, they bring dogs from Clear Lake and Omaha and
Yep.
bring them to the dog park.
Right.
They're not licensed in Hartford, South Dakota.
And we don't require that.
But
We've talked
nobody
about that, we
checks.
did that.
Nobody checks. There's no test at all at the dog park.
What's the cost of the tag, the metal tag?
5 if they're spayed or neutered.
No, I mean, what does it cost us for the tag?
Do you remember the bill for that? We buy them kind of in
For what?
like
Bulk.
100,
Yeah.
bulk of 100.
I mean, it's minimal.
No, I
It's-
mean, what does it cost us
it's-
actually to buy the tag?
Oh, the tag.
So what do we got what you're after is, what do we got in expense in this deal?
Oh,
We know
we're not
we're-
even scratching the surface of
Right.
our expense if you
Right.
don't.
You spent a lot of administration fees
Yeah.
right here with 22 letters.
So to say we generate revenue is
Plus you've
Not-
got,
not
you've
being
got
truthful.
residents in the city that are getting letters
There's
and their
no-
dog has died and they go, oh, there's another letter, just throw that away, I don't have a dog.
Right.
Then they get a letter with a fine in it, and now you gotta.
We've never followed up a fine with a dog that has died.
I was gonna say, I don't think they're getting fined.
As soon as they
for
tell us that it's
not renewing.
deceased, we write it off.
I think, the part of that though too is, it even says in here is, we're trying to offset some costs here. Because how much is the Humane Society?
So you just saw the contract, their rates all just went up, so, we're going to a flat $450 a month, regardless if they come out here or not. And then if it's after hours, their rate went from $61 to $90, I believe, per hour. Well, you're gonna have a couple hours by the time they come out here, look for a dog and go back, so
And this is,
That gets passed on to the owner.
it goes to the city.
I think there's a marketing opportunity here
it,
to let homeowners know how much money they could save if they do register their pet, because in the event that it's running at large and it isn't licensed, we just call it Humane Society, now they're
Right.
paying a substantial
Right.
fee to get their pet back,
Yeah,
whereas
so
in
if
your
we can
example,
not involve the Humane
if it is
Society,
licensed
it's no cost.
and
well,
and
and
it's
that's,
brought here, then it's a
Then we
courtesy.
just call them, it's courtesy.
It's $5.
Pick 'em up.
Even if that was $50, that would still be a substantial.
well, that's kind of my point here is, $400 a month, there's $750 of fines right here.
Which aren't collectible.
We
Really,
can't
'cause,
collect
I mean,
them?
we don't pursue collecting them.
Right.
So they just have a.
And this is
fine
a
out there
large
that-
month, this is not an average month
Gotcha.
of letters that go out. Because we looked at their November report, right, that Kyle just gave you, and there was, what, 2 on there for pets?
True, but
So-
he's not duplicating, I mean, it says
Right.
right here, 2 letters were sent out plus this letter for a fine. That didn't show up on his other reports. So he's not,
It could have
he's
been
not being
taken care of.
redundant with them.
So I know we had this discussion,
I said
Craig,
he could
when
have
you
paid it,
did
it could have
that.
been closed
They
out.
do pay, we do get some of them
When
that
you
pay
did
the
the
fine
meters.
and register their pet, they follow the
On
rules.
this list, there's one that's been closed. There's 8 that's open.
So when
I'm
Craig
That
and
was from
the,
October,
Seven that are
though.
open.
when Craig and the city staff were doing the meters, Craig and I had this conversation. How
We
many
know
houses
there's
did you
tons
go
of-
into that there was dogs? And probably 75–80% of them, or more, weren't licensed, were not licensed.
See, that's just kind of like a crazy thing to me. So they're going into and doing this meters. Oh, by the way, they're working like this secret mission of like,
No,
let's see how many pets.
no, they weren't. It wasn't a secret mission, Sean.
When they have
We
to,
should have.
It's
when
an
you have to
observation.
avoid from getting bit to go in and
Yeah,
get the meters.
yeah, when you're fighting off
We
your
got it
dogs
right
trying
now.
to put
We
the
got, we
meat.
got another one. We got another one. Mark it.
Right.
My thoughts are with this here, if we decide to do away from that, are we gonna do away with some pumps discharge permits? Because we're picking on the
Exactly.
people that are honest. I mean.
Right.
If it's not enforceable, it shouldn't be
There,
in the book.
there are several things on the books that are
That are
hard to
not
enforce.
How does it benefit the city to have it?
Once again, we know if there's a dog at large, if we know who that dog is, we can return it to the owner at no cost
But all the
whatsoever.
costs go to the owner, don't they? To the
Um,
Humane Society?
no,
No, not all.
if it's
no.
licensed,
No, only boarding fees.
right.
We've got to pay the initial trip charge coming out here.
Can't we
And any
can we-
medication or,
Can we charge them that? I guess, so I'm just asking like,
Can we pass
can
that
we
on?
pass, like, in my opinion, so like if I had a dog and that dog got out loose, and then the city had to spend money,
Attorney.
and then the city, like, it
Yeah.
just makes sense to me that that owner of that dog should take care of those fees versus Ryan's tax dollars taking care of my problem.
Yeah.
So is there-
Since it
there should be
originally
a
comes from
way-
the Humane Society, I'd have to check with Tom if we can legally
Yeah.
do something.
Cause
like
like right
that,
now, we
it's
have an
not- It's not in our ordinance to charge those, this is coming from these Humane Society, so
Right.
I'd have to.
But right now, we have an ordinance where I could, quite literally, I could have a dog. And I legally, don't have to follow it because you're not gonna pursue collections on me, right? So like people who aren't notifying the city and paying their fees, do we ever take those people to
Yes.
court?
Yep.
Oh, you do,
We've been to
okay,
courts,
so
yep.
so that
So
that
they
is
are-
pursuable.
Any
They are
unpaid,
collectible then.
fine. And like I said, we let it go, they get 3 warning letters, they get like 2 letters with deadlines, and before we ever
Okay.
pursue,
That's for the fine.
yes,
Gotcha.
they get 2 warning
And-
letters. Basically 3 with Kyle's first one, 3 warning letters, 2 from Jenny, 1 from Kyle, and then 2 with fines, and then we will pursue it legally.
And Tim asked why this is on the books. It's been on the books since 1938. It was ordinance number 29.
And we're at
So if you're wondering why it's-
758.
I know it doesn't make it right, but you're saying, why is it there? That's why, because it's been
No, I
here
don't care
forever.
why it's there, I'm saying it's unenforceable.
I
We,
did-
as a committee, are saying it's unenforceable, get rid of it. We're spending so much money and time, 22 letters just in the month of October. 22 letters.
So I would agree, I would like to see some discussion around, other options, maybe, maybe there's, gosh, I don't know how you could somehow let the city know your pet's description or something, but, I mean, I would love to see some, information from Tom on, what else can we do with the fees? Like Sean said, have the owners responsible for those fees and not have this be a burden for you guys.
Yeah.
Personally,
fully
for
in
us,
favor
we
of
just see the report and we
Correct.
was raising some red
Yeah,
flags.
it's not
What
a
in the
zoning
world are we
issue, and that's why I
spending-
told them to come here, because this is a
Yep.
municipal
Why are we
ordinance.
spending this kind of time and money on something that's not enforceable?
Right.
And let me tell you, we spent a lot of time discussing this at our meeting. So I hope you guys do as well. Thank you.
Well, probably not tonight, but we will, because
Appreciate you
we
bringing
just
this
had it
up.
on for discussion tonight. If we're gonna take action, we gotta
Thank you, guys.
move
Thank
it
you,
forward.
gentlemen.
We appreciate you guys though doing it.
I can check though with Tom about
Yeah.
if a fee is issued by Humane Society, if it's something we could pass on
Right,
to an owner, because then we could recoup those
Right.
as well.
Reasonable.
Right.
Because the next thing, they'll be saying, don't let your dog get caught by the city, because they're gonna give him shots and stuff and then charge him. So it's not us that's making those
Yeah.
decisions, it would be the Humane Society.
And, yeah.
I can hear people saying.
I know this doesn't help the argument you guys have, but at least we know the people that are registering their dogs have to prove that they've had them vaccinated. So if nothing else, we have 393 dogs that are at least vaccinated
So
for
we don't have
rabies.
the rabies.
I mean, I know that's not a justification for this deal, but if we take it away, are people gonna relinquish or quit giving their dog shots for rabies? Because they don't have to prove it. I'm just,
Just keep the ordinance, but just don't try to enforce it.
Right.
Because you can't enforce it.
right.
Well,
It's unenforceable.
any dog that bites one, I mean, all you gotta do is get a record from your vet, show, yep, you got a rabies shot. and then you don't have to go
Right,
through the-
correct. That's what I'm saying.
And at that point, I wouldn't think the city would be involved at all.
Well,
Right.
and we do, if there is an incident, Humane Society will come to us first and say, are they registered?
Yeah.
Do they have, a rabies vaccination?
All right.
And if we don't have it, then they do have to look elsewhere. We're the easiest point of contact.
All
Thanks
right.
for listening.
No,
Thank you.
hey, if nothing else, we listen. Thanks. All right, let's move on. We got the first under applications, agreements, hearings, resolutions. Second reading of ordinance 757. This is the zoning amendment that renumbering of chapters 12.16 through 12.19. No changes from the first reading.
Yeah, no change, like I said, this is just to correct a numbering there. We noticed when we were codifying, putting all the amendments into one ordinance again, that we had 12.16, so we're just renumbering it, so, there's clarification that nobody's confused it.
Motion to approve, second reading of ordinance 757.
Second?
Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote. Bowen?
Yes.
Horn?
Yes.
Keel?
Yes.
Barons?
Yes.
Jazz?
Yes.
All right, next up, we got second reading of ordinance 758, which is the implementation of surcharge for repayment of SRF loan CW-09.
And this is that second.
Second one.
This would be the second surcharge, so this would be for the 2340. We already have the first surcharge on there.
Yeah, I thought your letter was pretty straightforward and informational.
So total surcharge is gonna be $49.40.
40 cents, yep.
Yes.
I'll make
Oh, hold on one sec.
Yep.
Yeah, hold on one sec. So I went back to, remember when we were talking about this? And I had Harrisburg send me their
Oh,
stuff? This is 2023, but this is just on their sewer side. So they have a base surcharge of $4.51, a second surcharge, $1.54, a third surcharge of $6.18, a fourth one of $39.41, and then a fifth one of $15. So that's 15 and 40 is 55, or, yeah, 55, 65, 67 bucks.
and surcharges?
That's just on their sewer side. Then they also have some on their water side. So anyway, I mean, I know we
I know
have
several
citizens that are gonna
cities
have
have them.
concern, but
It's
we're
not
not
uncommon.
by far the only people that are doing this. There's limited ways to fund these deals.
All cities will be
Anyway,
having them.
sorry, Sean, go
No,
ahead.
I appreciate
Yeah.
you bringing that into
Yeah.
context. And,
Yeah.
But yeah, I was gonna make a motion to pass, ordinance 758, the implementation of surcharge for repayment of SRF loan CW-09.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote. Jazz?
Yes.
Barons?
Yes.
Keel?
Yes.
Horn?
Yes.
Bowen?
Yes.
And before we kind of move on, so I did send out that kind of revised letter.
Yep.
Is everybody good with that? Did you
Yep.
see any issues or problems, you think? Okay, we're gonna try to send that out on the 30th then. Jenny's getting all the envelopes and everything ready. We're gonna let them get through Christmas.
Keyword
Have a
would be
happy
try.
Christmas. No, she's getting everything already, the envelopes.
Yeah, she was stamping
Yep,
envelopes.
we got her stamping away. So, okay, I just wanted to make sure it's okay, we can go with that. Okay.
All right, we'll move down to reports. First one is the fire department. He will probably be here next month, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep, he'll be here in January, first of the quarter.
So, I know they've been busy. I've heard them, they've wheeled by a couple times, so. It seems those first snowfalls always, all right, Next up, most exciting time of the evening, city engineer report. Michael?
Good
Merry
evening.
Christmas.
Should be a quick one tonight. Water resource recovery facility, they just continue to work within the operations building for plumbing and mechanical and process piping installation there. Continue to work on interiors and drywall as well. Moving on to the Highway 38 water main extension. The bore under Highway 38 was successful on the first try. They've got all that pipe connected and finished the pressure tests earlier today, which passed. So once chlorine passes, that test will, or that main will be ready to go into service. So and then, as you can imagine, seeding and restoration will occur this spring. So that's all I've got. Any questions on the two quick items?
Do you have anything or watch over any of the work that they're doing now on this second where they're cutting the sewer across for Windsor? Are you guys watching that or?
We'll watch it, they'll be keeping an eye on it.
Yeah,
too.
somebody,
Yep.
okay. Yeah. Because they've started, they're getting ready to do that one too, right?
The same subcontract that
Yep.
that did the
Yep.
water main project, just a quarter mile down the road. So yep.
Any word on our Western Avenue tree set?
Yeah, I was just gonna put it in my report since he did bring it up, but yes, I actually just yesterday, I talked with Stacy Duche with the DOT. They are still on track to bid it for late January, early February. It's not, they're gonna bid several projects, and this is one of them in there,
Okay.
so. They already had bid the girders for the beams, and those came in lower than estimate, so that was a good thing. So they're hoping to get some good pricing too, coming up for that project, so, on our
Good.
project.
That'd be awesome.
Yep.
All right. Good enough. Anything else for Michael? Thank you. Public Works Superintendent Craig with his new jacket tonight.
Yep.
Some of them weren't at the Christmas party. You should show them. Show them that.
model
See, we got Craig. Yeah, we got Craig that was his 30-year jacket right there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, pretty nice, thank you.
yeah.
Yeah. It's no Rolex, but.
Yeah.
Well, it's close. It's close to
We'll
a
get to
roll.
that in another 30 years.
There you go.
And it'd be Rolex spelled with a C, not with an X, you know. Yeah.
Just some changes in my report. Underwater, the quarterly report, the fourth quarter has been sent in, so the next report will be due April 10th of 2025. I was gonna say that with the water main extension out there on Highway 38, we'll be taking a back T test tomorrow. If that one passes, we'll take one more, and then on Thursday, they have to have 2 consecutive passes before we let it go online. So we'll be getting those taken. At the parks, batting cages have been taken, the net has been taken down, put away. We were hoping that we could just leave it hang up there, but we were just too worried that there'd be too much weight. So we pulled it all tight, thought we could just wrap it that way, but we were worried about it being too much weight up there, so we decided to take them down. Sports complex coming along good. Electricians probably 60 to 70% down. Plumbers have got their stuff there getting started, but I know we wrote the checks out for them, but we'll be holding them until they are complete. We'll be done with the job, so. That's all I got in my report. Changes.
All right. Any questions for Craig? So do you do anything with these nuisance snow, put a little sand down or?
Just came in the other morning and sanded a little bit. This stuff here, hasn't been real slippery out there. I've been checking them, so we'll just, the nuisance stuff, unless it's slippery, we won't do anything with them. Just sand them.
That'd be nice. We got 2 more weeks and we can get into the new,
We're stockpiling. I mean, we got plenty of salt and
Yeah.
sand, so we're sitting good that way. And I'm okay if we hang on to it for another year.
I hear you. So am I. All right, thank you, Craig. We'll move on to Finance Officer Report. Karen.
Yep, my report's in the packet. I do have one action item. For those of you that don't know, we collect customer deposits for each water sewer account, and those funds go into a separate account because they cannot be used for general operation of the city, so. And that money, of course, accumulates, and last December, we decided, well, we've always invested a portion in a CD, but it was around 20 to 30,000. Last year, we made a decision, since we've built up quite a bit of money in that checking account, to invest more in a CD. Well, that CD has matured. We originally invested 70,000 and we made just over 3,000 in interest last year. So since it's matured, we can either roll it over and do another CD at Reliabank is where that one was at, or I've gotten the rate options with First Interstate as well. The checking account still has 31,000 in it. Teresa and I kind of talked, and we think 20,000 would be sufficient to maybe put more into a CD and make a little bit more money. So, I guess
20,000, you need to keep some in there because you're always refunding deposits too, because, you know, they put a deposit down when they move in a place, but people are also moving out of a place, so then you're refunding those deposits, so just kind of need to have that liquid, you know, access there for what's coming in, what's going out, but we think 20, we talked about it.
Yeah.
Should be plenty for that.
Quick question, so these funds aren't funds that were to be used for anything. What do we do with that interest? Does that go then into the?
So that gets a separate line item, the interest does, so.
And that can
and-
come into our account or what
Right.
be used for city
Right.
purposes? Okay.
Yeah.
Just like all of a sudden we're just sitting here growing this account and then we can't use it anyways, you know.
No, the interest
I
is
mean,
a
might
separate
as well.
line item on our books,
Okay.
and that we could utilize
Okay.
for, in the water fund,
Yeah.
but
Our
we can't
other
touch the deposits, though.
main money market where we keep a lot of our liquid cash, we made what, $222,000
$222,000 as of last
this
month.
year
But
in
there was another
interest.
20 this month when Teresa did the reconciliation, so, yeah.
That's definitely worthwhile.
That is worthwhile. So, all right, so Karen, your recommendation is that we go with the Reliabank, 4.535 month, 3.5.
Yeah, and then we'll just have to revisit it again in 5 months when it matures.
Yep,
And see
well,
what
that's fine.
rates are at.
Yep,
And then as for the amount, yeah, just right around 85 is what Teresa did with the math, doing the math in your report. But yeah, if you just want to state the amount and which term,
all right.
You can sign for it, right?
pardon?
And you can sign.
Yeah, and then they need the authorized signers who can be
Oh,
a signer
yeah.
on the CD. The last one we did, Teresa and I were, so. But we can
So do you want
mayor.
that as part of the motion?
Yes, please.
All right. Somebody want to make a motion to that effect?
Make a motion to approve the CD for customer deposit funds in the amount of $84,951.61.
And make
Oh,
With the Reliant.
Karen,
Reliabank.
yeah,
Okay.
Reliabank, and
Karen, you wanna set that up? What, the motion?
they want to be signers.
Authorize that.
Okay.
Okay. Is that enough?
We're doing the 5-month?
Yeah,
Okay.
yep. Second, did somebody second?
Oh, I'll second, yeah.
Okay, all right. Any more discussion?
Should have said that first.
Sorry,
No, I should have said.
I kinda willy-nilly there for a minute. All right, hearing no discussion, we'll vote. Bowen?
Yes.
Horn?
Yes.
Keel?
Yes.
Behrens? Jazz?
Yes.
All right, thanks, Karen. Keep watching out for that money and keep, you know,
Yeah.
keep it rolling in.
Try.
All right, next up, city administrator report, Teresa.
So, I could give you the project updates. Nothing really changed in my report. Just let you know, we did hire Richard Klinger for extra snow removal help. Hopefully we won't need him, but we did. Craig interviewed him and offered to jump to him for that. We did get signed up for party status with the Summit Carbon Solutions Pipeline, so we are officially filed party status in there. Question I have for you about the recording of the meetings, we talked about it, I brought up a little bit earlier. Now that we got the system in place, do we want to just continue with recording city council meetings and live streaming them, or do we want to do planning and zoning and park rec, so all the city meetings?
I hate to be this guy, but should we test it out on planning and zoning first? And then move to us, and move to, I don't know.
You're
I
talking,
guess.
Just
she's not talking
recording
live.
them, being,
Yeah.
recording them, having
Yeah,
all our
through
meetings
that,
recorded and being able to access through a link through our website, basically.
What do we
So
post now on our website? Just ours, right?
all we're recording now is just council, yes.
I personally like that, especially for maybe not necessarily for Park and Rec. Cause that's kind of, cause the Park and Rec's kind of like an extension off of, or I guess.
It's an official, it's a
an
set up
official-
board, yeah,
okay.
it is set up as a board by ordinance through the city, just like P and Z. I think kinda, we just did the city council before, cause when we just used the camera, it was kind of a process. We had to go through Movie Maker, we had to put all these clips together, and we had to, you know, put them into a format that we could upload to YouTube. It was a little bit of a process. This is just, you go straight to YouTube, it's
Hit
a
a
link,
button.
we can put it, it's very simplified process now, so it would be.
I like it
simpler.
for transparency, that's my opinion.
Right.
If it's simple, let's do it,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
Do we need action on that for you?
I think I just need direction from me, it's nothing that
I'd
you
say
would do
let's-
by motion, but just
Are we
so
all right with
I
that?
know.
I'm good with
I
it.
too, it shows transparency, I
Yep.
think, so
Okay.
anybody who wanted it, so, okay, I just wanted.
And then we can talk about live stream at a different point in time.
Yeah,
I don't know if I'm ready for that yet.
If you,
That's why it'll be at a different point.
if you.
Perfect.
I mean, kinda is, the recording is on YouTube,
Your
if they
friends
go
are preparing
search
me.
YouTube, they could find
If they
it.
find our YouTube page, it's
It just-
live streaming right now.
One day it's not live streaming right now, it's recorded right now, but it'll be up right after I end it.
Oh, it automatically goes.
it doesn't live stream, but as
I
soon
had
as the
set up a
meeting's
link
over
to
and you
it.
hit the button,
Yes.
it goes.
Yeah.
But if they knew, I
If they
thought if they
go on
know
YouTube.
on our YouTube page, if they don't, if they know where to go, it's there, isn't it? Happening?
It will be right after I end the meeting,
Oh,
because
and-
it's
Gotcha.
It
sent
doesn't
on
let
its
them
own
get,
link.
they can't get into it while we're in process.
Okay.
Right,
Okay.
not now, because I have to set that up beforehand,
Okay,
put the link out there,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
I would just say maybe we want to check and make sure that the camera was off during sensitive times, you know, like the executive
Yes.
session mainly.
oh, yeah.
Before you hit submit, but
Yeah,
other than that, I think
yeah, we want to make sure we don't have.
And if for some reason something changes in 6 months.
So we are live streaming right now.
I think, I know, I think we are. Yeah.
Are we?
Yeah.
We are live streaming right now.
I thought I had,
Just,
we don't put the link out there.
I'm just
Because
letting
the
you know,
link just takes them to
there's,
the page, but if they know where our page is.
there's two people so we are live streaming, which is kind of cool. There's two people watching,
So you
yep.
gotta go through YouTube to find
You have to go through
that.
Yeah, you gotta go to
Not
our
our
YouTube
site.
channel.
Huh,
So,
okay.
if they are on YouTube then.
Good.
Right.
Okay.
We just don't have the link on our site yet.
All right, what else you need to add? Because I got something I want to talk about, but let you get through your stuff.
I just want to touch base again, we talked about possibly looking into a different auditor, just because we've been with the same one for a while. I just want to let you know, I did check, I threw it out there to other cities of who they use, most in this area. And like I said, you have to be licensed or have certain credentials to be able to do municipal audits. Not every firm can do that. Most of them use ELO, which is who we use, or Schoenfish out of Parkston. I did check with Schoenfish to see if we could get a quote or a rate. They are not taking on any more new clients. So, I can do more checking. Me and Karen kind of talked about it a little bit. It's a process changing auditors, because we've done it twice before. It does take them more time to get familiar with our, system and our bookkeeping. So it'll probably be a higher rate, at least in the beginning, for the first couple of years. We'd kind of like to hold off until at least our big wastewater project is completed, because that's split up over so many years, so it'd be nice to keep on rhythm with the same auditor. We've never had a bad audit come back, or don't have real concerns, because every municipal audit has to be sent to South Dakota Department of Legislative Audit, and they recheck it. So it's not like just you guys and the audit firm are looking at it, it gets sent to the state
Okay.
there, and so they too are involved in it, so. We don't have big concerns, but we would like to hold off at least for maybe a year or two until we get that project done. It'll be an easier transition, I guess, and then maybe I can do a little more checking to see who. So are we good with, just want to make sure we're good with that, or?
Yep.
No?
Yep.
Is
You
it
good?
reasonable?
Yep.
Okay, so I'll just kind of mark it in my notes to kind of look at it here in the future. And then, one last thing I didn't have in my report, Jamie and told me today, we thought we were gonna have Chase Tyrell as the new officer coming in here. I don't know what happened on the sheriff's department end, but it's not gonna be him. It is gonna be Jonah Rechtenbaugh. He's from this area as well. I don't know him, but he says he has been with the sheriff's department a little longer, well, longer than Chase. He says he's a little bit more mature, has a little more experience. He thought actually he'd be a good fit here for Hartford, so.
Okay.
He has good
Okay.
confidence in him. So,
When
just to let
does
you know.
when does that switch happen? Is that January?
January 4th
Okay.
is when Damien's last day is.
Do we want to get Damien like a gift card? I mean, he's done such a great job for us. I mean, I would like to have a little bit of conversation, just like a nice thank you or something, I don't know.
Okay.
Yep.
Are you okay if we kind of do, we start something there?
I'd have that for it, or
City of Hartford quote?
No, that's just Greg. We stopped there. We stopped with Greg. That's a one-off.
Hartford bucks. I'm good with
Just
something.
gonna thank you, so he
yeah.
won't be at he'll already be done by our first meeting in January. I thought, if he was there, we could give it to him at that, but,
Well, maybe
Yeah.
show. He said he was
Yeah, he
gonna
said he
hang
was
around with
at
it.
the first
He might be here
I
at the
think he
first
was
meeting.
at the first meeting, I thought he said.
okay, I'll double check, sorry. Double check with him and see if, maybe if he does come, we'll do.
Yeah, we'll get something.
Get some for him?
Yep,
Okay,
okay.
nope, that's a good idea. Okay, that's all I.
That it? I wanna throw one thing on here, cause you have, the party status on Summit Carbon Pipeline. Had a great phone conversation with, County Commissioner Gerald Benega yesterday regarding the pipeline. He just wanted to call and see if we'd had any conversations in Hartford, how we were feeling about this deal. I told him we're still, we'd like to have it farther west, but we know that our pinch point, if you will, is a mile west of town. I kind of turned it around back to him, said, you guys really have all the jurisdiction, we do not. And he said they're really appear to be up in the air on the county commission as to what they're gonna propose or do. I think when they really pushed the setbacks last time, I think there was talk of possible litigation. So I don't know that I don't know what they're gonna end up doing. Anyway, I just wanted to give you guys an update that he was because I would say in Minnehaha County, I think it's closer to us than anybody, if I'm not mistaken.
If
Maybe.
you look at that map. with the
Yeah,
towns,
because Harrisburg is in Lincoln. It's probably as close to
Okay, it's close to
Harrisburg
Harrisburg,
as it
but
is
they're in
us,
Lincoln
but they're in
County.
Lincoln. But I think in Minnehaha County, it's probably as close to us as anybody. So, anyway, I just wanted to give you that as an update, all right? All right, let's move on to new business. First up, we have a review, approve county plat for track 1 of Nelson's second edition. This is in our zoning, territory, or whatever we call it. What do we call that?
Yep,
Zoning?
it's, so this is.
Growth territory, or
yeah.
growth.
So it's not inside our municipal limits, but it is within our growth area. We have, with the county, we have an agreement, we have platting jurisdiction in our growth area, so anything that gets platted or replatted within that growth area, even though it's outside the municipality, any plat's gotta come to the city first for approval before they can go to the county. So it's gotta go through our planning and zoning board, which it did at their last meeting, and then through this board. Then the owners can go take it to the county. Part of our regulations, our subdivision regulations, require that a pre-annexation agreement be signed. Basically, it's an agreement that says, when the city butts up to this property, we've got to touch this property, if we ask them, and it doesn't say we will, if we ask them to annex, they won't fight it, basically. They will annex. Does not say that we will. I mean, obviously, we border a lot of people around the outside of our city that we've never asked to annex in, but it kind of is forward-thinking enough that say you do get a piece of property that we butt up to and we actually grow all the way around it, if it's that little donut hole that's causing a problem, we can annex it in. And so it's just kind of, you know, this is south of the city, southwest. It'll probably be quite some time before we ever get out that way, but, you know,
Is it 2
eventually.
miles?
Hmm?
2 miles south?
It's about 1.5 miles, I guess, if the crow flies, yeah, southeast. There's a little map I put in there. I will let you know, the planning and zoning did pass it contingent that we receive that pre-annexation agreement, because we hadn't received it yet. I talked with the owner, Kristen Nelson. She was supposed to bring it in Monday. She did not. I have not seen her today either. So if we want to act on it, I suggest the same motion, approve it contingent we receive that pre-annexation agreement, or table it till the next meeting.
It's interesting they own both parcels, they're just combining them.
So what they're doing basically is, they have 2 parcels, one is where their home is on. They want to combine it so they get at least 40 acres and they can get A classification, so it's a cheaper tax rate,
Sure, sure.
basically. So,
All right,
You were talking about, just on the same note there, donut holes kind of in the city there.
Yeah.
Do we have any problem areas like that right now that are kind of,
we don't have, well, I shouldn't say that. Now that we've done Maple Pass, whatnot, along Highway 38, there's a
Yep.
few houses there. Maple Pass and Windsor is all annexed. There is
there's a few in that area?
there's them few houses in there. That's the only one we've had. That's the most recent one.
Yeah, just curious, so.
Yep.
all right, so action, do we want to pass this contingent, or?
I'll make a motion to approve county plat for tract 1 of Nelson's second edition contingent on receiving a signed pre-annexation agreement.
Second.
Any more discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote. Jazz?
Yes.
Barons?
Yes.
Keel?
Yes.
Horn?
Yes.
Bowen?
Yes.
All right, next up, we have review, approve 2025 fire protection service agreement. This is our agreement with the fire department. Basically, we guarantee and pay them the money that they turn around and pay to the bank for their loan on the new fire station. This is payment, what did I figure the other day, 14, correct?
Yeah, payment 15.
15.
15 of
So that's the,
25.
25?
yeah.
What, did we ever figured out what they would charge us?
We started in 11.
If we didn't have this
I don't know,
agreement?
I didn't count it.
This will be 14.
This will be
is
14.
No, we're
Okay.
paying it in June though, June of next year. So it'll be 15. I don't know. Yeah.
I'm
Oh,
just
this
curious.
is, oh,
But yeah,
I don't think we have ever asked them.
I mean,
I
I'm
mean-
not saying we
Right.
don't do that, I'm saying more like, you know, maybe a little bit of planning ahead, even though it's 10 years away. You know, are we getting a deal here, or, are we- you know what I mean, what can we expect moving forward? So,
Well, I would venture that they'll be wanting to build a brand new fire station by the time this one's finished. How's
well,
that,
it could
how's
be
that
the case.
sound?
Could be the case, yeah.
With the big double wides.
I'll make a motion to approve 2025 fire protection service agreement.
Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote. Bowen?
Yes.
Horn?
Yes.
Keel?
Yes.
Barons?
Yes.
Jazz?
Yes.
All right, next up, current billboard rates charged by the city. And basically, you have this in here for us to review, but your staff's recommendation is to keep them the same.
Yeah, so last year, we did a review of our billboard rates. We did raise them slightly, because they hadn't been raised since 2018, I think was our last time previously, before last year. So we did do a slight raise last year, and at that time, we also talked about, well, let's review this annually, just to stay on top of it. We've only had one lease come up for renewal this year, and it was this month, actually. Dave Larson is leasing the billboard from us. When I sent the lease agreement to him, he came back and said he did not want to renew. Now, I don't know if, and that would have been under the new rates, because it would have ended at the end of December, and it would have been started in January. I do not know if the rate change had anything to do with it, because, I sent him a letter saying our rates are changing, this will be the new rate for you. So I don't know if that was the cause or not, or if he just wanted to. Now, this year, we have, I think, 4 or 5, I counted 5 leases coming up. So if none of those are renewing and kind of complaining about the rates, we know that they're not happy with our rate. If they all renew, then we know they have no problem with our rates. So it's, that can maybe give us a little more leeway next year to know, okay, they're satisfied with our rates, they don't have any problems with the increase, then we can look at it again. So my recommendation is, let's go through this next year. This will give us maybe a real idea of, if people, are comfortable with our rates or not, so. But that's up to you.
Any interest in the Unity Road one or Dave's, have we looked at that at all?
So I did have Golden West call me, and they
Oh.
are interested in the one that Unity Road faces.
Good.
So I need to get back with him. He called just right when Unity Road was on the agenda, so I need to get back with him. And so I don't know if he's good with the third of a billboard, but if they are, then we'll pursue that, so.
All right, we don't need to take any action, we're leaving it on the same.
If you don't want to change anything, no action is needed.
Everybody all right with that?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go to the next item, review ordinance 739, which is fines and fees. Interesting that we were talking about that earlier.
Kind of the same thing, we're trying to do an annual review, and we decided to do this about 3 years ago. So you have in your packet our current ordinance. Staff has reviewed it, Craig, Karen, Ron, Jenny, and I. We do have a few suggested changes in red there on the far column. These are things that have not been changed in years. Pets is one of them.
I was waiting for somebody to see that one.
I actually was thinking about that a few weeks ago anyways.
But, I guess the only ones that are fairly recent is we implemented, a placement permit fee and a flat work permit fee, Actually, when I looked it up, it's 14 years ago, so most of them are 14, 15, 18 years. Some have been in place since, the pets have been the same amount since I started with the city.
All you golf cart
Contractor's
drivers,
license has been the same amount since I started with the city.
I wanted
Golf
to,
cart has not
Yeah.
changed since we implemented that. I think that was about 10 years ago.
are people gonna squawk if we go to 50?
I disagree. I think it was 5. and I
Yeah, we
remember-
did change. We changed it from 5 to 20.
Yeah.
2 or 3.
I can remember somebody
That was-
complaining
Oh,
that
that's
the
right,
goat
we
as
had
they're
it
drinking
really
a beer,
low to
how
begin
expensive
with,
that
and we
was.
changed it, right, you're right.
In a $15,000 golf cart.
Oh, yeah. You guys jacking that up from 5 to 20, that's a lot.
So this would be going
We
to
were
50.
getting more and more golf carts though on the road. I mean, it is a way to collect, they're using them more and more, the
Well,
city streets
and
and whatnot.
I think the other move that we made on golf carts was to make sure that they had them insured.
Yeah.
Well, if you
Well,
get,
that's state law.
if you get them licensed, you have to show insurance.
Insurance,
Yes, I'm
right.
gonna say,
Yeah,
that's
that's
state
all
law
along.
that's required.
That's one deal, but I'm glad, because we did not have that,
No, we've
piece of the-
always had it.
well, but it was a
We made
different.
them change it. They were licensing under like their homeowner's
Right,
policy.
and now they have to
And now
license
they
them
got
under
licensed it
their,
under their vehicle policy.
Right.
Because there's no way for
Right.
the sheriff's department to check it if it was a homeowner's
Correct.
policy.
That's
That
what it
Yeah,
was.
that's the change
That's
we
what it
made.
was.
Yep.
So, 20 to 50 is a jump. However, I know what they charge at the golf course to trail fees. I mean,
And if you don't drive it on a public street,
You
you
don't
don't
need
need
it.
this license,
Yeah.
correct?
No.
correct, yeah.
if you live on the golf course and can have access to the golf course, you don't need it.
No, this is just
If
if
that's
you're
the
gonna
only
be on the
sign.
public
What's the point
streets.
of, what's the point of that? So that's going from 20 to 50 is a $30 increase. When I come in here and get my license, it's a 5-minute thing. So what's the point of,
Well, we
No,
talked
I mean,
about,
what's-
we're
what's
looking
the
at
just-
revenue sources.
what's
I mean,
that?
we talked about during budget, we're looking at revenue sources.
So what I'm saying is though, so we're looking at, oh, let's make revenue, so let's increase more fees, like, that, I think that thinking is, or more fees, I think that's kind of crazy thinking. Like, it's really kind of crazy thinking. Now, we're talking 20 to 25 or 20 to 50 is ridiculous.
And these are just suggested.
I
mean,
know
you
that,
guys can
and I'm giving
do
my
whatever you
full-on
wanna do.
opinion of it. I think it's ridiculous
So, yeah, if my
to
math is-
absolutely increase that.
Yeah.
That much, like, there's,
5 to 20 is a 25% increase, right?
yep, 5 to 20 is a, so this is
But,
a, this is a hundred, this is a
40
hundred.
It's a 40% increase?
No, so from 20 to 50,
From 5 to
that's a
Yeah,
100+% increase.
5 to 20 is
Yeah,
more than this is.
2.5 times.
3.5.
Right.
It's 2.5 times as much.
Yeah.
It takes 5
250%
minutes.
increase.
But it takes 5 minutes to to show your thing and then to get the tag. So this is not like a laborious thing for the city.
I
I'm
just
just
did
saying that is pathetic. 100%. Sorry.
I disagree.
I'm just, yeah, I think it's pathetic.
I disagree.
That's fair. That's why I love disagreement,
A
but
quick search online is $42 to register a car for a year,
Yeah.
and that drives all over the place and on all, I mean, it just, for something to, I guess, give it some perspective, 50 might be high.
Yeah. A golf cart isn't tearing up the road like a car is, or,
Right.
I mean, it's,
Okay,
What's it to register a side-by-side? Same, probably?
no, that's like a car, that's like a
I
vehicle.
think
That's what I'm
That's
saying.
42.
Yeah.
So 42 would be the same thing.
Yeah.
So here's my thoughts on this as well. Especially for the pets and especially for the golf carts. Why don't we look at maybe, okay, here's your annual fee. What if we put a 4-year fee together or a 5-year fee together so that we're not sending letters out every year or whatever? Maybe they get a little bit of a discount or something along those lines too. And then they don't have to do it every year as well.
Problem is that the rabies shot is a yearly deal, correct?
Agree, yeah.
Year or 3 years, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So we
It'd
could
be nice if you could match to that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't know how we would do that, I guess. If, maybe they need to just say, hey, we need your rabies shot every year or something, I don't know.
Are these pet fees off a line though? Like the 5 goes to 15 and then the 10 goes to 20? So I think they might be off a line. It's like the 15 goes over to the,
oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're just up a line.
yeah, okay.
I know.
Got it fixed on mine.
Like I say, I thought I fixed that and put it in your
Oh, mine's
packet.
fixed.
You looking off the packet off the box, huh?
I pulled it up a couple days ago.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
it's
maybe,
fixed.
maybe.
It's
yeah.
fixed now. I fixed it before
I
today.
said mine's right.
All right,
So, yeah, whatever. And I mean, you can take these suggestions, you can take none of them, you can take some of them, you can, yeah,
Right.
it's totally up to you guys.
Can we table this?
You can.
Motion to table to
second,
next meeting.
all right, no discussion on the table, we'll vote. Bowen,
yes.
Horn,
Yes.
Keel,
Yes.
Barrett,
Yes.
Jazz.
Yes.
All right, we'll move that one to the next. Wait, should I refer to my Robert's rules to make sure we? All right, review chamber director position. Scotty must have been watching this online. He knew exactly when to come in.
I was the one live streaming, and it blew my mind to find out you guys had no idea if you were being live streamed or not.
Yeah, we had no
I
idea.
thought I had to put the link out on YouTube.
How do they not know? I'm watching them right now, how do they not know? And then Sean logged on, it's like, oh, there's 2 people watching, you were one of the 2.
Yeah.
I was the other.
I was thinking, whoa, is that crazy?
So, well, because I wanted to make sure I was here.
I like it.
That's awesome. We know it works.
So we know it works.
Scotty's
It
here.
works, yeah.
All right, let's talk a little bit about the chamber position. Do you want to give us an update of as to what happened after our last meeting? You can come on up here so everybody can see you.
So, for the immediate time being, on an interim basis, the chamber did hire Wynn as an administrator.
Okay,
So, and that is just a short-term basis, just basically to help us continue business as usual, so,
okay.
yep. So that's where we're at right now.
And we did set a committee to meet, are we meeting, or where are we at with the job description?
It's in your packet.
It's in your pocket.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Geez, maybe I didn't look that far. Wait, it's off a line, Lisa, that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. It must have been off a line.
I think it's basically the same one as they.
I
Yeah.
sent, we talked about, I sent the job description to the chamber, did not get any feedback from
Okay,
them.
so you guys were okay?
Yeah, we're okay, that's
I
the
was
same
saying,
one
I
we
think-
had previously.
I was saying, I think Ashley mentioned that's-
wrote that,
yeah.
and it's,
She
everything
mentioned
on
that
there
at the
is-
meeting, that, yeah.
Because
they're
that's
okay.
the exact same one that was used last year, when we were in a similar position, so.
Yep.
All
Yep.
right, so our discussion is, we're good to, if you guys are good with it, we're okay, we're gonna
The discussion will be if the council wants to hire.
hire this
another
person
city
again, is that what
employee, and
we're
if you
gonna?
wanna advertise
I would
for it.
like to see, I'm gonna say something completely, probably, I might be the only one who has this idea that this should be a position that is hired by the chamber, that is supported by the chamber, and that is overseen by the chamber. There's my discussion on that.
That's their long-term goal,
I
right?
understand that, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a long-term goal, you know.
That's our long-term goal.
All we have to do is figure out what we mean by
So-
long.
Right. Is that a realistic goal for
Right.
this moment?
Yep.
No, it is not.
Right. But we also did say that we were willing as a council, if I remember right, that we wanted to help the chamber, and we were gonna help get them through to that spot. But I do think the discussion has to continually be what Sean said. When
Right.
do we get to the point where, because I think you all know where I was at on that. I'm in Sean's camp, I would say also. I think we're at that point where it's time to start looking that direction. Not that I
Nope.
have anything
Understand.
ill against this, you guys, or anything you're doing. I just think we're at that point, so.
So, and just, I've talked to business owners, probably 3 or 4 different people, and I get out there and talk to the community. I try to, at least, when I have some free time. And so my opinion from that's not just my own personal opinion. If I could back that up, just with people that I've talked to, is, I think the question that gets brought up to me, and it's something that I've had to ponder, is, so, and I know I'm not trying to be a flamethrower here, so I'm not
Oh, I
trying to
know.
I'm not trying to stir the pot or anything,
No.
but I think like the question that I wrestle with, just from like a chamber perspective, why is that, why is the city largely funding that? And shouldn't the chamber members be, facilitating this? I mean, that's just kind of like the general question there. Because like the city obviously has a significant, has had a current, significant investment into it. But the people that are members of the chamber, why wouldn't they pay for somebody to be leading the chamber, the actual business members of that? Why is that maybe it's a little bit countercultural thinking, I don't know, I mean,
No.
it's just, I'm just kind of lobbing it out there,
Right.
just things I've had to think through, so,
Yep.
why, yeah.
You know how revenue works?
No, I have no idea
We don't-
how
we just
revenue
don't
works at all,
have-
Scott.
I'm just teasing.
Okay.
We just don't have the revenue.
Okay, so what you're saying is you don't have the revenue to actually support somebody?
For the immediate
Correct.
time being.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
And I do think what I feel is a compromise to come away with, Sean, would be that when we get to budget time in August, again, we have this discussion. We say, okay, how are you guys, what do you think? Because that's when we'll be talking about the next year, and I think it's something that at that time frame, we really have that discussion.
I agree, but I'm also gonna say the white elephant in the room. They have hired somebody who quit from the city,
Yeah.
okay? That's public knowledge. They've hired somebody who quit from the city, and I don't understand it. There's the other elephant in the room, and, I'm not gonna say too much more on that, but, so, yeah. Yeah, I'm not trying to stir the pot,
I
but
hear you. No.
these are things on my mind
That's
with
fine.
this, is that I want a successful
Yep.
chamber, but, you know, I think the idea of the chamber actually being able to support somebody, right, that's a great goal. How long has the chamber been in existence for?
11 years.
11 years.
Yep.
It's a long time. That's pretty much saying like, I've been running a business for 11 years, but I still can't afford to run the business, so I'm gonna keep going. At what point, you know, at what point do I change something?
I
Do
understand.
I figure out my business to generate some more revenue? To do something to bring more value, that where
Right.
people wanna be a part of this, so. I know
I understand.
you're the face guy. You and I, for the people watching, you and I get along great. So these are questions that I ask. So we have the chamber with the goal of being self-sufficient. They've been in business, right, quote unquote, for 11 years. Still are not self-sufficient. And here we are talking about giving them potentially up to $30,000. I rest my case.
I'm just a volunteer.
I know you are, bro. I know you are, bro. I know you are. I know.
And honestly, I'll say, I have no problem paying the 30, even if it came down to it, just as long as we're providing a value for those businesses.
Owners,
you
yes.
know? So I think that's kind of, you know, I wouldn't say we're on a downhill slide or nothing, but, you know, we kind of just need to ramp up and provide, you know, some value for these businesses other
Yep.
than just, hey, I'm so-and-so on Main Street and they came and talked to me, so I
Yep.
joined, you know, so.
Right.
That's, and if that value's there, I have no problem spending 30, I have no problem spending probably even more than that if we could get that.
Well, and that's one of the key things we highlighted when we did our planning session a couple months ago,
Mhm.
was how can we get more value
Yep.
with our members, and what more can we do for them, so. And that is a big focus of ours right now, moving into 25, so.
Good.
And we do have some stuff we're trying to work on that, we're working to come together that we can go forward with that too, so.
Yeah, no, that sounds good, so I think that's kind of where the focus should be, so.
I think the
We're on the
focus
same
is,
page.
yeah, it's a good focus, but I'm not too happy with the way some of those experiences from the person you guys hired, who have a business right over there, have an office building empty over there, we just moved over there, and I don't even care. Myself and two of my employees were completely snubbed by the person you guys hired when we're chamber members. And that's why I'm a little bit passionate. I don't care. I think the public needs to know. It's a little bit frustrating. I think the chamber deserves to know that.
Yeah.
I've shared that with you.
Yeah.
I finally rest my case now.
All right, good. No, I don't mean good, good.
Just one point.
That sounded wrong.
With the chamber, it's constant turnover. It's not like it's been the same people trying to build the same business, you know, you got constant turnover, you got different people, you got different ideas. And that's maybe why this growth has been slow or hasn't reached its potential.
Right.
It was self-sufficient at one point in time, 2-3 years, maybe?
No, we've
Always
paid,
provided
years, I mean.
funding.
we funded them. all along.
There was a time there, they didn't request anything like the Jamboree Committee events.
Oh, there was time that they didn't request anything, so like when COVID was going on,
Mhm.
they didn't spend all their allocation, so they didn't request any the next year because they already had funds that were unused.
I want to say
That's
2000,
what I can remember.
maybe 17,
Hmm?
We still hired the position.
Vince
Yeah, we
was-
still hired the position.
Right.
I just remember getting kicked out of a meeting at a fire hall. And he explicitly told me that they were self-sufficient, and I did look, and the only thing they were giving him was the Jamboree funds, I guess, but maybe I'm wrong, so.
You were on city council at that time?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, 16 to 18.
You got booted out of a chamber meeting?
Oh, yeah, they, remember that? Me and Nelson went, and they said, well, it was because Vince didn't get along with Fonkert. So then.
We were on council, I kinda remember
Yeah,
this.
so
I do
then-
kinda remember that.
So then Vince says, we're gonna have everybody that's not on the board step out like executive session, and then I come back, and everybody's like, they can't do that. I'm like, I was gonna call them out, I don't know. You know, so, yeah, anyways, that was.
All right, so we really need two,
We don't wanna stress you out.
Yeah.
we really need two motions or one motion to advertise
It can
and that
be
we're
one-
gonna,
If your decision is to hire this position again, we could have a motion to. hire
Advertise for the
and
position.
advertise for it.
okay.
I would like to say, Scott, I'm glad to hear that the short-term employment win is short-term. I was very less than impressed the last time that I spoke with her, and I'm glad that that's a short-term position. I hope it's very short. So in that, I am ready for a motion. That's just,
Yeah.
I just wanted to publicly say that.
I'll make a motion to approve advertising and hiring of a part-time chamber director.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, any more discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote. Bowen.
No.
Horn.
Yes.
Keel.
Yes.
Barons.
Yes.
Jazz.
Yes.
All right, 4, is that good? 4-1?
Passes.
Thank you, Scotty.
Thank you, Scott.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Scotty. Thanks for coming
in.
Feel free to be in touch.
Continue to watch us on the live
And-
stream.
Yeah, it does work.
I was
It
wondering
does-
how you're on
and-
good
and-
timing.
Now you know, we didn't know we were on, so now you.
I thought, yeah, I had to put the link out there for it,
Now
but
you better be careful. We
I've
know we're
actually-
on.
I've watched a few on there. It's been working for a
Hey,
while.
Yeah.
Can you
Just so
live
guys
stream
know.
the chamber? Is the chamber an extension of the city? Like, that's not.
Oh, yeah, we could, all right, that's all we,
When will that be posted?
shortly after the first, or you wanna get it posted yet
well,
this
we'll
year?
put the link out tomorrow right away, we can.
Okay,
I mean, if you post
Yep.
the link, is that what you mean?
yep. Do we have
No, I
anything
meant
for
the position.
exec, should we?
Oh, the position.
Yeah.
We can get stuff tomorrow as
Yeah.
soon.
Have it on our website.
Okay.
All
I was
right.
just curious.
Yeah, we'll start advertising right away.
Okay.
I need a motion to go into executive session for economic development.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay. Oh, I don't,
You can't do it from there, huh?
Tell when it comes back online. It's on the pause thing.
Sean, I'll take that
It's live.
charging cable.
No, I think it's live.
Take what? Oh,
I think it is.
is it all right if I give him back his?
Yeah. Yeah,
Sean?
we're live, I think.
What kind of a beast are you? What'd you do to this thing?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know, I wrapped it up.
All right,
We're
can
live.
Okay.
Motion to adjourn.
And a second? All in favor? Aye. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, yes.
Did that again, Teresa?
Yes, please.